Alright, this is Victor again, restoringmercedes.com. So now, here is our project from California here, right? So, I was gonna do, my agenda was to do water pump. Well, you know, water pump is water pump, no big deal. Well, relatively. But I was not about to take radiator out or condenser together with fans and everything. But here's why I did that. Good or bad, we'll talk about in a minute. I mean, obviously it's extra work, but the bad thing is this. There it goes. Our strip bolt, rounded off. I tried to clean. You see that? Those are my scratches inside. I tried to clean it, but the bolt is stripped. And that's why I have to take all of this off, because I have to figure out how to take that bolt out. And that was stripped before me. It's just that I put, you know, I have a really nice straight cut socket to take these bolts off, because I don't want to have these kind of accidents. Because it's like you have one shot at this. You lock the fan and then you just break it loose. But that's why I keep this one. I keep cutting it every time. You know, just shave it down a little bit to make it ideal. But apparently this is what happened. So the bolt is done. Okay, after a few hours and a verbal support of mother, father, you know what I'm talking about, I finally got access to water pump. I also washed the engine just slightly, the front of it, because I can get to the fending seal. Alright, so let's take a look real quick. The bolt, I had to destroy the fan clutch. As you can see, I had to cut it with fan clutch. I had to destroy the fan clutch and cut the head of the bolt so I can actually remove the pulley, because obviously I can't remove the water pump because the bolt, there's one bolt that's behind the pulley, so the pump will not come out unless you remove the fan and the pulley for the fan. Okay, so at this point I got the silicone on affecting covers, I mean seals, but anyway, it's either this kind of setup or thousands of dollars to repair it. Now, another thing I wanted to show, and it's the first time I'm looking at it, is I want to look at the PCV holes that is down in there. And I don't know if my light catches it and if the camera even catches this, but it's totally separated, it's broken off. As you can see right there, I'm shining my light as much as I can. It's supposed to be pipe that goes further out, and it's not there. The pipe is laying there. I mean, it's the piece of plastic that's still there. Let's see, you see that piece of plastic is still there, right past the pipe. There it goes. So it's broken off. This is the standard classic V12 M120 engine situation. Now, if I remember correctly, this is the full throttle, wide open throttle PCV system pipe. So at this point we have the lines that go in the middle and passes to through the back, and then it splits into two and then goes on the bottom of throttle bodies. So, you know, it's a big job, and you opening up a can of worms. My pipe is, I have a 95 S600 also, and mine's been leaking for probably forever. But what I'm thinking of doing in this particular case is, if the oil leak stops, at least slows down, then I'll just cap off the lines on throttle bodies, the bottom ones. That way the throttle body, the intake manifold, will not get extra air, and then full you know, PCV system will still breathe. It is what it is. What am I supposed to do? I mean, it's like, either if you want to fix it, then you fix it. You fix that, then might as well to go for these covers. These are the covers I was talking about. This whole assembly right here, right? So you remove the whole thing to get this whole thing out, and then also there's another seal over here. It's like U-shape. I also put silicone on it. But then the whole intake manifold, like I said, I already explained what it entails. Fan clutch, the air pump pulley bearing is replaced. It's perfectly fine. I have new pulley for the idler. I siliconed as much as I could down under, and surfaces are clean, and water pump needs to go on right now today. I already cleaned up surfaces also. Let me see, what is this little speck over here? No, that's just like, okay. So I want to put the water pump in because I have to finish something today. This is just all day doing what I'm doing here. And also the water pump in itself, as you can see, it appears to be, it used to be touching already, so obviously we cannot have this. The original water pump, let me go and show you the original water pump. Is an original water pump, and this is Lasso. This is the factory one. Look at this. This is terrible. So all of that has to be done. Here is the original water pump. It's just moving like about maybe, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch. This is horrible. And yeah, look at this. I can't believe that this would not leak. That's most amazing thing from all of this situation that we're dealing here, is just like, how in the world this would not leak. It wasn't leaking, it was just making lots of noises. So somebody was here, it appears, before me. Lots of silicone and whatever. This is the thermostat housing piping. As you can see, it appears that they had too much water concentrated in coolant, because all of this falls out. That is all to be cleaned off. That's the pulley I'm changing, and bolts, what have you. A low radiator hose I'm also replacing, because mine as well, because radiator hose is swelling. As you can look at it, no, I would rather replace it, because to change the upper hose is one thing, to change the lower hose is a different thing. Might as well, for a few dollars, replace the hose. So that is where we are at the moment. I also see some sort of a junction made. That wasn't me, it was just there. What is that? That goes to hydraulics in the back, actually, but hydraulics are removed on this vehicle. Regular shocks and springs installed. We'll get to that in later on, because it's also wrong. But the agenda for today is to finish bolting the water pump. All the bolts are laid out the way they came out, because they're all different lengths. This bolt was also almost stripped. I got it out, but it's just like the head is pretty bad. So maybe this pump was replaced at some point of time, maybe. But it is what it is. I ran a little bit on the terminals, on the distributor cap. Same on the rotor. Cleaned it off a little bit, the brass, the copper. So this is where we are. All right, fine. So let me move on, and if anything, I'll make another addition to this video. Okay, so sun is down. We have just a little bit left for a day. So now the front is done. The pulley, the belt, that's a new belt, water pump, all of that, silicone and everything. The condenser is connected. Ideally, when you disconnect the condenser, you want to replace the receiver dryer. I'm going to just run a long vacuum on it and see what happens. It should be okay, but yeah, ideally you want to replace the receiver dryer. Anyway, the condenser was pressure washed. I put it back in place. Now I'm running the vacuum on it. Coolant fans, this plug looks very strange because the pins, they just barely come out, whereas the other one, they come out very far. I don't want to disconnect it, but I have to still deal with this, so that's what I'm gonna do. The condenser looks good, clean, and before I put in the radiator itself, I want to do the vacuum, and obviously I'm gonna leave the vacuum on, but you know, I'm working on the other things, so let the vacuum be there with the vacuum pump over here. So this was also pressure washed. Condenser had some dirt in it. Radiator was actually much better. I cleaned up a little bit on the pipe inlet. I did not disconnect the lower pipe, I mean the lower portion. This is the upper radiator hose, and it seems to be in good condition, no bulging, no nothing. So I think we'll be fine with this particular pipe. The adjustments here, they're supposed to be rubber grommets, and then there's supposed to be bolts over here to actually tense up rubbers, but they're both broken. Not a big deal. That's not going to affect much, because it's still going to hold by the upper panel that goes across the piece of the rebar. The only thing is that the drain plug is broken. It's not leaking, it's just broken. So if you want to drain the radiator, then you have to drain it with lower radiator hose. What I decided to do is I decided to actually start this engine. I put everything back together, and I filled it up with water because I can't do any more damage what was done anyway. So later on I'm going to do 70-30 distilled water and 70% original coolant concentrate by Mercedes. The pressure, I mean vacuum on this is disconnected, by the way, because and this one leaks a little bit, so I don't want to make any false readings. I will connect it back to just check out on the high side, but vacuum holds. So this is the idea. Wow, this is quiet, this is nice. Oh my god, because before this is like, I would just like, oh my god, what happened just now? This is nice, quiet. Exhaust, we don't count for the exhaust, because all 12s work. I can feel it right now. Oh yeah, all 12. So now I'm going to be putting the oh, this is actually very nice running, but we do have an issue. It smells, it smokes. I'll deal with it later. I know my auxiliary fans kick in. That's good for the AC. It's nice and quiet. So I just want to bring it up to the operational temperature just to see if there are any leaks. If there are any leaks, then obviously they will show, and that's what I wanted to do. Alright, so again, long video, but it is what it is. I'm gonna still actually keep it running because it's not really that late, but the smoke is just smells a lot, so I don't want to really do long runs on the engine. I also will actually blow it with water, compensate the pressures. Okay, whatever. Okay. I'm done for now. Next video is coming soon.